Welcome, everybody, to the Hybrid Color Podcast, where we discuss everything film, funny,
and advertising.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm here with Jesse McCarty. To my left, we've got Travis Smith.
Yo, yo.
And Sam Rice. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
All right, let's kick it off. Travis, tell me about what's going on in your world right now.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of mountain biking left, and it's almost sled season.
Getting close, man. You see that? You guys see that snow creeping down the mountain?
Try not to.
I know, man. It's starting to get cold. It's feeling fallish here. Everybody's kind of trying to clean up, do their last minute things, winterize boats, winterize, all the toys, get everything packed up. Isn't that funny how that happens every year?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going fishing this weekend.
You are for bows? Because isn't this the good bow time?
Yes.
The old catch and release thing. Please explain this to me.
I know. You have such a hard time with it. Growing up in Alaska, you've caught every fish there is to catch. And obviously we want to fill our freezers, but you're always chasing that 30-inch rainbow. Not a steelhead in the river.
Now,
rainbow.
is that an uncommon rainbow of 30 inches? Is that like the mark?
I say if you've caught a 30-inch or above, you've beat fishing. It's like I've been fishing trout for probably the last 8 years, and I've never caught a 30. Now, it's easier to catch 30s in certain areas of the state, but on the Kenai, if you catch a 30 on the Kenai, that's like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
And I'm just not there yet.
Gotcha.
And I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Heard that. So, Sam, you got some exciting news. Tell me about this iPhone 15 you got, bud.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty great. I've been liking it a lot.
Have you? I
Yeah.
haven't heard anything out of you since you.
Yeah. No, I've been trying to keep it to myself, but it's been pretty fun. The video's pretty great.
What do you think the coolest function is? You only had it
Coolest
what?
function.
How long have you had it?
Since yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. The coolest function is a new little action button. So instead of having the little flipper for the silent, you can press a button and I have it mapped to bring up notes because I'm always taking notes on stuff. So as soon as I click that, it's open and I can just start typing.
The coolest thing I saw was definitely the USB-C.
Oh, yeah.
Plugging the hard drive right into a phone.
That is pretty sweet.
It opened red footage.
Oh, yeah. You can watch red footage on that beast. Straight up.
Wow.
Was it on a drive? Is that what he did? Did you plug a drive into it and saw it? So you can see the file structure on any drive? Any drive?
Yeah.
So it's basically a handheld computer.
Yeah. It's pretty sweet.
I was going to say my laptop can't do that.
My laptop wouldn't open red footage when I got it.
I think that it's red footage, but it's ProRes codec. Yeah. So it's .movs.
Oh, so it's not R3D.
Yeah. It might open R3D because Apple's pretty good about pro video formats on their computers and iPads even. So probably the phones would get that too. You could test it.
I don't know what the use case for opening a hard drive on your phone is, but it was still super cool. Just the ability. I don't know how much you'd actually use that, but
Impressive, to say the least.
I think I'm going to sell my Jeep and just get one of those little RC Jeeps and bring that camping and do that instead of the real thing.
That's a cost-saving measure. I like
Yeah,
it.
it is. My rear end just blew up and it's going to be pretty expensive to...
Sam's evolving, man.
It's crazy what a haircut will do.
I know a haircut. Yeah, you cut that hair off. And
do we want to stay somewhat private? It was kind of quiet at first. Sam was like, "Oh, I'm going to Homer. Oh, it's, Salmon Fest." I'm like, Sam's been going down south a lot.
Well, we hadn't put a label on it. I said I want to take things kind of slow.
Well, I think you didn't put a label on it. We're like, "Oh, are you Sam's girlfriend?" Oh, yep, I'm Sam's girlfriend. Yep, getting married.
Yeah, she wanted
kids.
to make sure that 6'7" frame was spoken for.
Dang. My boy is nice.
Yeah, he's nice with it.
Yeah.
It's just a total shift. And then I think that, and maybe you can chime in, I think the biggest thing is today his comment about the vehicles.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. Sam in a new vehicle that runs, works, and drives. Whew, would that be a sight to see?
Sounds boring. No.
I know, right? I like fixing things
Yeah.
too, but at some point you're like, you know what?
I like taking a different vehicle to work every day out of necessity, not out of...
That's wild.
Yeah. I like not having the option to take my other ones.
Which one of you are going to work today?
Yeah.
What truck do you think you want to get potentially? Thought about it? Let me guess. Toyota Tundra.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I totally pulled that out, and I totally get it.
No, Sev had a Tacoma
Toyota T100.
T100.
Oh, that's
right. The
sick.
T100 was
Yeah.
a gangster.
5-speed manual all time.
Yeah, that thing was bad.
Yeah.
What I think Sam's going to start doing, though, is maybe he's going to start looking at new Toyotas, and then he's going to potentially try and find the older one with the sideways seats in the extended cab area. Remember those? The little fold-down seats?
Oh, yeah.
Jump seats.
Oh, yeah.
I did always want one of those.
I think we all did. I think it was one of those gimmicky things that you were like into, whether you were into Toyotas or not.
But didn't they all? Nissans had them. All of them had them. The jump seat.
I think Nissan, the Nissan B series trucks, and then the Mazda trucks had them too.
It's not too late. You
I
can
know.
get one.
I know. I
You
could
can
get an
one,
old
man.
Mazda truck.
Oh yeah, B
And they're
series.
probably MSRPing right now for like $50,000.
Yeah.
Probably.
Those trucks hold their value like ridiculous
Probably.
amounts.
I mean, my car I got for $3,400 in 2018, selling it for $65.
See,
Are
I
you
think
serious?
Sam has that argument because all his cars are like have paid for themselves times 10.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
No, I get it. I mean, there's some.
he's not stupid with his
no,
money.
no. There's definitely.
They started to shoot up in value a couple of years ago because Erskine got one right after I did for like $4,500.
And then Jose got one.
And then Jose got one last year. He had to go to Colorado to find his, and he paid $10,500 for it.
Oh, we're talking the BMW.
The BMW, yeah.
I drove it.
I did too. That shit was
Yeah,
crazy. I took it
crazy.
to cars, bro.
Sam's like, just if it sounds like it's going to explode, you're driving it like it wants to be driven.
Yeah.
Damn. That is heavy.
Yeah,
man.
redline it everywhere.
Yeah, dude. It sounds like it's on its way out. It is just starting to get started.
Yeah, it's just starting to warm up.
Yeah, there you go.
Boy.
Full throttle, just pedal to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So have you started looking or are you early stages?
Early stages. I'm probably spring. I probably wouldn't sell the Jeep until spring, if I do.
What's going to fetch more, the Beamer or the Jeep?
Oh, the Jeep's probably worth close to 20.
What?
Wow,
It's
really?
got like $10,000 in axles.
Dude, you could sell your 13 vehicles you own now and get a sick truck.
I know. That's why I'm thinking about it. And it would just work.
You just get in, probably has auto start,
Allegedly.
Yeah.
probably has heated seats.
The BMW has if it starts, not auto start.
Paid extra for that.
yeah. It's a feature on old
Yeah.
BMWs. Yeah.
It comes up, yeah. This chill starting to get in the air. Got me thinking about sled and stuff. Winberg said they're starting to take sleds.
Oh, yep.
You get that clutch kit.
Isn't he still Sledworks or he's just A2D now?
ATD Motorworks.
Motorsport. Is it Motorsports?
It
Sorry.
used to be Sledworks. Yeah.
Sorry, Chad. I don't know what your company's called. I just know it's awesome. A2D.
Attention to detail, dude. That's actually a previous comp. You know what I mean? My man's been in the game for a minute. Super
has.
high quality. That dude knows what he's doing.
Looking forward to sledding, and all the avalanche classes and stuff are ramping up. So, and all the fundraisers are ramping up. So we're busy.
Oh yeah, tell us about that. You got CNFIC. So tell us about CNFIC. Where any new initiatives? Anything cool? Oh, you guys have merch coming out. New merch.
We do have new merch coming out. Yep, that'll be dropping at Snow Stories 2.0, which is playing the 26th of October at Bearstooth. Little fundraiser, some folks talking, and we'll have merch there.
You guys have a fundraiser coming up that I'm going to take my son to West High
Oh, yeah.
Auditorium.
Cool.
That ski film.
Yep.
That looks really good.
With Ira. Ira's awesome.
West Anchorage is an interesting venue. You guys ever watched film there?
I've been to events
West-
there, not a
West
film.
High School. West High School. Yeah,
Their auditorium is sick.
it is.
It's like the pack,
It's crazy.
It is. It's
which
like
is
all
crazy
vault-
at
it's
a high
like
school.
vaulted
is.
up and stuff.
Yeah.
It's super sick.
Yeah.
They, years ago, I was doing all the lighting in there, and they have a curator that only works on that building, like all the maintenance, all the programming, all everything. She's been there for like 40 years. Cash is getting super into skiing. I just bought him some new skis, some
Sick.
Black Crows. He's like,
Dang.
just melting
Double tips,
down.
dude. Just backside Mahalos all day.
They're actually like a hybrid ski. Shout out hybrid.
Let's go.
They're twin tips, but they got a flat back on them, so they're like kind of like free ride skis. They're not park skis per se, but he's just super into it. And I shot him that film. He was like, "Oh, should I go?
yeah.
Should I go with my friends, or do you want to take me?" I was like, "Dude, let's go." He's like, he gets really excited when I do stuff with him like that. you know,
Cool.
that's in his sphere, so he's all pumped.
Daddy's
Okay.
filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him to bring his friends.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right now, he's
My
like,
dad's a filmmaker.
right now he's like the talk of his friends group because he got some new Black Crows.
Black Rose.
Sick.
I think I might get into skiing this year.
Oh, wow.
Okay, hold on.
We have a new development.
Stand by. Hold on. Hold on. Let me write this down.
Put it down.
Sam.
Public.
Sam.
Write down the time.
Selling the Jeep.
Yeah. This is we're breaking through some. Oh, 3:30.
Do we need to potentially hire him again?
Yeah, no, we might need to re-interview. Sister's calling me FaceTime
Yeah, let's go. Dude.
from the Beyonce concert. Let's go, Rion. On to the podcast you go. No idea.
Beyonce pops up. She's got her phone on stage.
Yeah, hit the record button.
Yeah, I gotta record. Hold on, stand by.
Whoa.
Oh my God,
Wow.
bro. Dog.
Yes.
Ariana.
Tell me you're going to Beyonce without telling me you're going to
Ready
Beyonce.
fuck
Seriously.
your party. I love it.
Tell me you're going to Beyonce without telling me you're going to Beyonce.
Yeah. Hell
Hey.
yeah.
That's awesome.
You got to frame us up better. So,
Oh, dude.
dang.
Yeah.
Mom's going to the Eras tour right after as well. So,
Dang.
Dude, we're right in the middle of a podcast. You guys are live with Hybrid Color on the podcast. Tell us what you got.
Podcast?
Yeah, y'all are on the podcast. Big fan. Dang,
Wow.
Mom. So this is my mom. Hold on, go back. Go back. This is my Uncle Tony right here. What up? Shout out Uncle Tony. That's my sister Ariane. You guys might know her from Channel 2. And then there's my mom over there looking like Beyonce herself. And then what else we got? Y'all are cutting out. What's up?
All right, we're heading there. I just wanted to.
Can you get on Wi-Fi, please? Get the boots and the whole dude. Y'all are serious.
My jacket.
Commitment level 7,000.
Yeah,
I
dude,
love
these
it.
fools are like,
I
because you're
love
supposed to
it.
wear silver. You heard that?
she's
Yeah.
going to be on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that
you gotta wear
outfit.
silver, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
They actually called her
I'm losing my mind already.
now that they've seen this podcast.
Facts. I know. Hey, Beyonce, if you want to come on the podcast, holler at your boy. What's it? At Beyonce?
I think it's Beyonce 2. Beyonce was taken.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
All right. What is her tour called? The Silver Glitter Tour or something?
I have no idea.
What's her tour called?
Hey, love you.
Love you. Bye. Okay. Shout
Dude,
out.
They got done up.
Dude. So
Wow.
what happened was, just to give you some insight, my Aunt Kathy, so it was my Uncle Tony, Aunt Kathy was in the passenger seat, but clearly the connection was subpar. She won 4 tickets.
What?
So my mom and sister flew down.
Whoa.
I mean, think about it. Beyonce, bro.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
don't
would
care.
go.
I would go to Beyonce
I
in a
would
heartbeat.
100% go.
Absolutely. I would go to Taylor Swift, bro. If I got a Taylor Swift ticket, I'd be there.
Taylor Swift is taking over.
Wouldn't you? Who would go to Taylor Swift?
I'd go.
I'd go.
I might sell my ticket and make a bunch of money, but
I might sell my kidney to go.
You know what I'm saying though? Because like when you elevate to that level, like the level of show there is like, I don't care what music you're into.
yeah. Bit of a tangent, but I did find a site that you can type in any movie or TV show episode and scene and find out what the characters are wearing. Because I saw this jacket that this guy was wearing on
Jeez.
Only Murders in the Building.
That's intense.
I'm going to fanboy a little bit, but Ryan Gosling in Crazy Stupid Love, when he's eating the pizza and he's wearing that blue suit, I wanted to know everything he was wearing. I was like, so G.
Yeah, Travis Kelce has seen a sales merchandise shoot up of 400%.
Oh, yeah.
Since after she attended the game.
Yep.
StubHub ticket sales for Chiefs home games increased threefold. More than 325,000 new Instagram followers hit Travis Kelce's account.
Is this a business decision on Kelsey's part, or do you think he's really interested?
I think it's a fucking win-win-win.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Taylor Swift. I mean,
She's
that's a
lovely.
pretty decent catch, right?
Like,
She's all right.
She's lovely.
what? She is.
The NFL has jumped on the internet hype bandwagon, changing its bio description on X, formerly known as Twitter, to NFL Taylor's version.
That is awesome.
That's intense.
That is awesome.
The NFL also made a header photo on its X profile, a picture of Swift cheering in the game.
That is awesome.
Dude.
Good job.
Everyone is getting on
Let's
the
go
bandwagon.
National Football
Oh,
League
yeah.
for the win, dude.
Good
I'm
job.
trying to get that female audience.
You feel me?
I mean,
Mhm.
they got to do something. We should have movie nights, honestly. Like somebody says, hey, we have to watch this. And then next week it's somebody else, hey, I want to watch this with you guys. And we just dedicate an hour or two to come watch.
You're just
content.
such a movie buff, dude. That's
I
what
know.
He is like the you're
Yeah.
like the movie.
Okay.
So
Okay. Sam watched.
don't use it as a segue.
Sam watched. I won't say a word. I said, this is potentially the best doc I've ever seen. And I say, this is the best food I've ever had. I always oversell it, right? You make fun of me all the time.
Oh,
Hey, I'm not gonna go at you because you can. Do
You
it.
can.
No, I'm good. That's
It's
cool.
just,
At least
it's
you
a
preface it.
descriptor. But I said, this is potentially the best documentary I've ever seen. And Sam watched
Oh, Sam, you did watch
of
it?
Second Chances.
You watched it?
Tell
Watched
me
a
what you
couple
think.
scenes. I thought it was really good.
No, it was definitely
It was
good.
It was really different, and I think the way that they edited it and filmed it lended it to the story really well. It was a really good fit because the story is kind of hectic and weird, and so was the
many elements.
flow. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can do that, it always helps. If you can make the edit match the like cadence of the time. Did I tell you guys when I learned that? I've told you that story before, right? With Catch a Can.
What?
Catch a Can.
I mean, I know the piece.
Catch a Can of Fish story. There was a segment in it, and they had me go to this guy that they like were like, oh, you got to talk to this guy. He's great, sport fisher, and he's really cool, and he'll be great on camera. And I was like, okay, cool. So I like go to this dude's house. He would like say something, and then he would walk off like during the interviews, and like he was all over the place. I was like, dude, this guy is. We had a hard time like following him. Nightmare in the interview. And I'm like, yeah, it was early in my career. I was like, dude, this is not going to, I was actually like wildly nervous that it wasn't going to work. And sure enough, when I got back to the edit lab, I was trying to edit it to match everything else in the film and it just wasn't working. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to edit it like he is. I'm going to actually cut this up weird and really jumpy. And it was like perfect.
This stuff is the best food you can put on the table. We eat fish 5 days a week. My wife likes the king. Those are fun. I mean, I can feed a family. Sport fishing. This is a nice coho. Lingcod, halibut, salmon. How spoiling is that? Well, heck, I might as well do it right now. So see, this is the trolling gear. Downrigger, flasher, 50, 60 feet of line, and boom. Philippine bolo, Peace Corps. Can't stop fishing. It's gonna be hard to give up. You could raise chickens maybe. That's a lot of work. This is an animal that lives in water. Take care of your fish, they'll take care of you. Chuck, you can't buy these anymore either. They're out. I think the only way I'll have to give it up is when I just get too old to move around in that silly skiff. I think people like skiffs around here.
Because it matched him. And I even got the comment from people in Catch a Can that said, this feels like him. You guys captured it perfectly. And I was like, interesting. Because it was like completely different than I was thinking that I was going to do it. I even used like a cartoon, like a Felix the Cat cartoon to like set it up and everything. Because it was like almost cartoonish and funny in the way it was edited.
That's cool.
So like, that's probably like, it's maybe like a tease into that style.
There was an element in the BTS that I watched where the director said, this guy, he said it's like there's crazy story after crazy story falling out of his pocket as he walks around the set. If you watch the doc, there is 20 micro stories
To build the whole one.
And each micro story is insane. It's like if you were the filmmaker on this project, you were given 50 gifts that were just amazing. Like the nun that worked at the ballpark that got kicked out of the church because she got caught giving people massages. And at the ballpark, she has a chair set up and she has like her own little area of the ballpark where she gives people head massages. And then she's still alive. They interview her. She's like, I just think of Jesus's thorn crown. And when I'm massaging people that come to the ball games heads, that's what I'm thinking about. And they made a bobblehead of her hands and stuff. It was just like story after story of all these crazy characters in his story. And it just makes the doc so dynamic. And every story, you want to know more about it.
Yeah, the thing that got me the most was the Minitron. They're like talking about all these weird things that he has as like shticks at his ballpark. And he has a Minitron, which is a 17-inch TV, like at the back of outfield. It's playing.
It's mounted on the wall in the outfield, 400 feet away from the, crowd. And that's what they show replays on. It's this
like
big.
this big and it's all the way
and
up.
it's like, you can't even tell what it's replaying, but it's replaying and it's a gimmick and it was hilarious.
Their color commentator's a blind guy.
Yeah.
As a society, we consume a lot of, just content. And I feel like there's an interesting like genre where it's hard to identify it. Is it doc? Is it film? Is it real? Is it fake? Like you don't really, you know what I'm saying? But it's entertaining. I mean, is the baseline it's entertaining? Do you have to know what it is?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I would say that it is entertaining, and everything we're seeing is shifting. Like, for instance, when Jesse was bringing up, let's have a movie night, I was like, man, I was thinking in my head, I don't got that much time. We gotta screen the movies first and make sure they're worth our time. And then I was like, that sounds like a great idea. So anyways, my point is the audience is shifting anyway. Like, I don't know per se, but something in Hollywood has changed. I haven't seen a movie come out maybe 5-6 movies in the last year that I would even consider watching, let alone like huge ones that I know that I have to go watch. Like it's just something shifting. I don't know quite what it is. And what you're talking about, it's shifting towards, and it's not as long. That's my personal opinion.
I think it's streaming has changed that in a lot of ways.
Streaming's definitely changed the
also-
landscape.
I think you don't have to be Christopher Nolan to produce something that people want to watch that becomes wildly successful and popular.
Yeah, talk about how we're kind of going through that right now. Actually, I mean, we're all talking about it. I mean, me and you have been. I don't know if we've talked to Sam, but it's just the idea that the sky is like really the limit. Like there is no reason that, you know, we make great work here at Hybrid Color, but like the level that we could elevate our work to would probably surprise us. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really think about it.
I mean, when I think about what you guys did with Winter Project back then, I think that you were able to shoestring a budget, do a lot of sweat equity work to create something that was very successful and popular. Like Pez Outlaw, I was like, this is amazing. Who made this? It's a husband and a wife. And you go to their website and like they made films, but like nothing that stood out. And then all of a sudden they have this wildly successful Netflix documentary that's huge. And it was just people that did it. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of ways to get things done. But I actually think a lot of it is, hey, we're just going to do this. We don't, you know, whatever it costs, we're going to stomach it. We're going to produce it. We're going to put it in the film festival track. And somebody's going to pay good money if it's good. And it's going to blow up.
I mean, that's what Whiteley said. Whiteley said if it's good, they will find it. Remember that? I know that's actually incredible. So I don't know if everyone's familiar, but we filmed a documentary, Year One, that's currently in post-production. That is about the Anchorage Wolverines, which is in their inaugural season, which was 3 years ago now. 3 years ago now. And we were able to get Greg Whiteley on the phone.
Which was crazy.
Which is crazy. The director of Last Chance U on Netflix, which many people know is still trending on Netflix as one of the top sports shows. Unbelievable guy. Took our call, gave us some insight, but it was just interesting to hear somebody at that level. He's actually, works for Netflix.
Yeah, he's so good now after making Cheer.
Oh, he made Mitt was his first
Mitt.
one. He's one, he's a selection at Sundance. Super, super talented guy. But he gave us insight and he said, he gave us some nuggets where he's like, if you make something good, they'll find it.
Which you don't always want to get caught in the sphere of, we have to have budget. We have to have somebody paying us to do this. I think that's limiting. You obviously have to, care about the company first. But I think you've actually come around a bit lately in wanting to do something and kind of throwing those ideas to the wind a bit. Like, hey, let's just come up with a story and actually invest and make it. It's just time.
To me, it almost goes, I think like that sometimes. I'm like, well, shoot, I go home and I, get on my Xbox or do something that's entertaining for me. But in reality, if I wanted to, I could just roll my sleeves up and.
Oh, yeah. There's 24 hours in it.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're probably using about 12.
Who doesn't have that feeling? You have that feeling?
I have something to say on that. It's interesting. We work with lots of people in the industry. Now we've worked with a few based out of the action sports industry, mostly myself specifically. And there's folks in Los Angeles that'll ask me, we'll collaborate on a project, and they'll ask me, okay, man, why does Kyle live in Alaska? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, we'll give him a job making $2 million starting tomorrow if he comes. And I'm just like, man, Kyle loves Alaska. I don't know what to tell you. And you don't have to be in LA either. You don't need to be down there anymore. You could make incredible things from all over the world. Yeah,
and to me, so to like kind of piggyback that, I've always wanted to like build my own team and like have because you see it in film. Like think about it, Scorsese's been working with the same editor for 70 years, and you know what I mean. Like these people meet up, and when you find somebody who like aligns with you, and you can like communicate, and you can even disagree, but come to realizations for the film. Like that's hard to find.
That is.
Look at the team we have here. Look at the infrastructure we built. Like at this point, I don't know. I mean, as you get older, I think that naturally happens. You just start to reevaluate. Maybe what you want to do, how you want to do it,
We've had the conversation a few times. Like, I think everyone on the team would uproot if the opportunity was big enough.
I don't think you have to, though.
Yeah, you could be project-based.
I did a lot of traveling all over the country for different projects, and it's easy to get from Anchorage to anywhere.
Yeah,
there's a direct flight to anywhere where, it's just you eat a little bit more in travel cost, a little bit.
But in the grand scheme of a film or a flick or whatever you're making, it's like kind of a blip because in reality, what you're doing is you're capturing the interviews, And if you're uber skilled, how many uber skilled people fly all over creation for all kinds of other things? I can I can operate this crane better than anyone in the world. Guess what? I'm in Venezuela tomorrow.
I think
I'm in Zimbabwe
that
the next
lends
day.
more into documentary filmmaking as opposed to clientele, corporate marketing, video production. Because if you have a company in, like, let's say Austin, that wants to shoot stuff regularly, like our clients here, that becomes not as feasible.
Yeah. And I guess, if you have your client base, it's just a model too. I mean, that's even cool with what we do. Is one of the funnest things I think we've started to explore lately is just the idea that hybrid color can do other things. We do so much more now. Like we do, films, it was hybrid color films, and now it's hybrid color digital creative. And that's because we just create things, most of them digital, but that are just, assets for use, like
It's a shifting landscape.
it's a shifting landscape.
It
So
is. And what area you want to portray yourself in. Yeah, we can do it all. But do we want to still be known as filmmakers, or do we want to be known as corporate, marketing agency, or that does video production? It's interesting here in town. That's what a lot of people are doing. I think the market is, you're an advertising agency? Cool. You can do video? Cool. So they're getting a lot of that market, as opposed to somebody like us that's more in the film space, and
we lean more film, so people may be like,
it limits us in the marketing sphere, as an example. So it's hard to kind of walk that line.
and it's cool because we've been able to experiment with certain clients where we're actually doing their marketing as well. And it's actually cool because we have the ability to step back and be like, this is what we need to say. This is the problem we're trying to solve. What medium do we use? That's more interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's not film. Maybe it is like an interesting campaign where we like create something else that's
it's definitely not one size fits all. So
No, not at all. It's a challenge.
It's just being creative.
like to me, if you're baseline creative, there's the sky's the limit.
We all just got quiet because we were all thinking.
Dude,
really
shit
hard
just
about
got
this
deep.
topic.
Let's talk. No, this is getting fresh. This is getting hot. What do you think about the podcast format? What's your opinion? I just love to know. Like, you've seen some of ours, you've seen some of the snippets and the reels. Like, how do you feel about just like the idea of it in general?
just like everything else, they got their place, and they can be used really, really towards a subject or audience specifically, and it's not going anywhere.
I think it's fascinating because it has gleaned into, we'll have a meeting as an example with a client, but then it just gives you this super unique platform to be able to highlight footage and create content that you wouldn't have otherwise.
Quickly.
Connect dots.
A speed at which you can create content off of the audio from a podcast. I mean, you really just come in and talk about all the things that you need to solve and what you're thinking and how you're approaching it. And then if you have B-roll to cover it and something, all of a sudden you have this beautiful piece of content with some music, clean audio, and tells a story. Because sometimes it's hard to like get that going. So the podcast format allows you to like do that in an interesting way, in my opinion.
Well, that was my big like push. Even before I was like, hey, we should do a podcast, I was like, I wish clients would talk more candidly about who they are.
For sure.
That's funny. That reminds me of a shoot I was on one time. I was in British Columbia shooting for a major snowmobile manufacturer. There was two people that had the same job as me out doing stuff and shooting with athletes. And I watched the other person that was on the other end give somebody a ... I want you to do this. And then it was my turn to go over in this other field that hadn't been touched by powder. And I was like, it was Ashley Chaffin. I was like, Ashley, go through that field and do whatever feels right. And I'm going to capture it. And I can't wait to see what you do. And that person that was over doing their shoot was like, hey, are you making fun of me?
Yeah, why are you stepping over top?
I was like, no. I was like, you have your way. I have my way. Let's see who pictures are better.
I think authenticity, we lean into storytelling, and that's like as real as it gets, as opposed to something that's very curated.
Yeah.
The curation is, to me, comes in the way in which you align and organize all those real moments in the edit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you need the real moments, but the real magic comes when you're able to curate them in an order that is like, wow.
Yeah.
Hence your doc. Like, they just used a bunch of different techniques from what I saw of that doc. I was like, they got a movie, they hired a mainstream actor, and then they're like showing B-roll from back in the day, and they're having people talk from the news, and it's like all these things are hitting you, and you're just like, I mean, Pez Outlaw was the same way. Like,
I thought it was the same group.
Well,
And it
Pez
wasn't.
Outlaw was identifying, like, one of the coolest scenes in Pez Outlaw to me was when he said, I would sit at work in this mundane job, but I would pretend like I'm in SOCOM or whatever. And they had all these people come in with, like, the lasers and the guns and
At
stuff.
work,
like
he used
a
to
whole-
read Tom Clancy novels.
Yeah.
So they show him in a drill press in a metal shop, but then the lights dim, and then there's like
Flashlights.
SWAT team that's like coming down on, ropes, and the lights are shining, and he's like looking around. He's like, feels like he's in a different place because he's in this novel. It's just super creative, which is what I was talking to you about. How creative did they get?
Yeah, I want to circle back, Kyle, to your question about what do I think about this platform. It's interesting to kind of see, having understanding of pre-production and what goes into it, and then go and shoot commercials and where the money gets spent. And then I see this, and to your point, it's extremely efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's a lot of things coming out organically that you couldn't have really written anyway. And you get to pick and choose
Totally
what to highlight and go into. And it's awesome.
And it's fun. I mean, how fun is this just to kind of like talk about things that we're vibing? It's like, it's actually, I think it's even more of an exercise. And I've gotten this from other clients that have actually done podcasts with us. It's a moment for you to maybe somewhat release things that you're thinking about, and maybe use other people around you in your sphere as a sounding board to like be like, hey, this is where I'm trending. Let me know what you guys think. Because like that's what I think with Why We Draw. Why We Draw was, I think, one of the best ones, because
that was so good.
They were just like these topics and these like perspectives that were coming out from the four people that were just like, there's so much different, but there's so much like alignment with what they're talking about. And it just gave me like things that I didn't even think about.
Sitting down, I was like, Kyle, what's the plan? And he was like, we're just fucking shooting from the hip, basically, which he used to roast me about, which is what I want to do.
Trav and I made our living there,
But
baby.
for whatever
Trav and I
reason-
made our living there, dog. Where's Trey at? Let's go, dude. Big shout out to Trey. We miss you, buddy.
My guy.
I'm
Dude.
scrolling Facebook, and it just, Kenzie wrote, married to
saw
Trajan, and I FaceTimed him immediately. I didn't know exactly what time the wedding was and all that.
That brought a smile to my face.
I was like, let me see it. And he like flashes his ring. It was just a whole different vibe of Trey.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, yo, Trey, I was like, you married? He's like, and I was like, no. So we like hit the rings on the camera together.
So
It's side tight.
That's funny.
Just Sam and I left, man.
I
Just
know.
Sam and I left.
know.
Yeah,
Holding
dude.
out.
Yeah. The holdouts, baby.
For now, yeah.
Well,
I think Sam's going to fall first.
Yeah, Sam's on. I've been seeing Blue Nile on his feed.
Sam's got a nice haircut. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, dude.
New girl, new haircut, new vehicle, new phone.
New skis.
Dude. Well, we cleaned out Bella's house, and I was just like, God, I need to get rid of all my shit and just start fresh.
I'm saying, bruh. I'm saying, dude, it changes your life.
Dude, I talked to my son
You
about it.
clean
I'm
your
like,
garage, you get stuff, you simplify. Dude, I figured it out first time when I moved from Morningside Loop to that little small space when we were going to buy the house. We got rid of so much stuff that I was like, I can't believe I got rid of this much stuff, and I didn't miss one bit of it. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Why did I have all that stuff? And then when we moved to the house, it was just so much easier. And then even when we got to the warehouse, remember how much stuff we had?
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of stuff. When we
We
moved in here.
got rid of a lot.
A lot of stuff.
the footage from moving in.
Yeah.
I was like, how are we ever
you remember
getting
what
out
this
of
looked like?
Oh, it was insane.
This whole area was full of stuff.
Stepping
like-
over shit, building material.
We had like a lot of equipment that we like kind of acquired over the years. I was like, oh, this is cool. Maybe we'll use this one day. And I was at some point, I was like, we only use a fraction of this stuff all the time. And like in here now, it allows us to like be super clean and nimble and be able to move things around. And I mean, I even still think we have a little bit excess, but not by nowhere near where we were at. There's something inherently in your DNA that when you have a clean space changes the way you feel.
And man, there's nothing better than getting into the bed, clean sheets after a shower.
Oh God,
dude.
just butt naked.
Yeah. I hate going to a bed that's all messy. I just can't do it. It needs to be ready for me. When I'm ready to fall in it, the last thing I want to do is make the damn bed. So that's the first
When
thing.
you were in the military, what was the first thing they told you to do? in the
When I
barracks?
was in the military in the barracks, I was like, I like this program. And then I found out that program sucked. But
what was the program? Make your bed, right?
Yeah. Start out fresh, man. Start off with your stuff organized and get your day going.
First thing, make your bed. That's your first victory for the day.
I've been making my bed every day.
Dude, I can't.
Is this a new development?
Yeah,
Yeah,
is
it
this
is.
like the
Well, I
Samurai's
saw-
podcast at this point?
Dude, is this a therapeutic thing? Because you're excelling everything.
Dude, I know. Well, I saw that Bella did it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to try doing that. And I started making my bed every day. And it's just like, oh, it's so
The
nice.
bed feels different when you
Yeah.
get into it. It's something
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
What really happened here, Trav, to give you some insight, is Kyle and I have been manifesting Sam's life without him knowing for the last 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So we've actually been talking amongst each other about all the changes Sam needs to make.
I mean,
to
we had
become-
two options: either that or get rid of him. We had to do something.
It was getting close, probably.
Well, then, Sam, I'm dying to know, how's the transition going? Are you obviously feeling it? You're sitting there.
Yeah, I'm great.
Cool.
Yeah. Going to bed earlier.
Whose idea was the haircut?
It was my idea. It was kind of both of our ideas things. Well, I had a haircut scheduled, and I was like, I think I'm just going to cut it all off. She's like, yeah, you should.
He brought the idea up, and she was like, "What? You're willing to cut that mop?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot, man.
I'll hit the audience with the before and after right now. Go ahead, cue it. Remember, I took like 70
Oh,
photos
yeah,
of
you
you.
did.
I
You
did.
did.
Before this exact moment. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that mop was going to come up in the podcast. So I want to make sure.
You just need to stop wearing hats
coverage.
now, though, because the hair is good.
But then I got to do the hair.
You turn around. Let me see the hat on. Yeah, dude, that's clean,
No,
bro.
but he can't run his hands through it all day.
I don't need to anymore. I got someone for that.
Dang, that's heavy.
This guy.
My overall assessment and experience is this. Right before we started, I told Kyle I was hungry, and I'm still hungry, but it was a great conversation for sure.
We out?
We're out. Thanks for being on the podcast, and thanks for listening. And stay tuned for our next one, where we talk about everything film, funny, and advertising
And food.
and food. Because
I'm down for some food. Me personally, I'm in.
folks is hungry.
Any catering companies out in Anchorage that want to sponsor the podcast?
Holler at your boy.
Yeah, let us know.